Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're actually stepping way back in time to uncover an ancient fable that holds a super heavy, honestly undeniable truth about human resilience. We often look at the successful, the peaceful, or the really grounded people in our world and think, how did they get there? Well, the answer isn't always about luck or circumstance. Actually, it's usually about how we respond to the chisel of life. And this story, pulled straight from ancient wisdom, offers a pretty profound perspective on exactly that. I mean, think about it. Why do two people from the exact same background end up with entirely different destinies? It's a heavy philosophical question, isn't it? But we see it happen all the time. To siblings, to friends, or maybe to colleagues. They start with the exact same resources, the same environment, the same potential. Yet one just kind of breaks under the pressure, while the other thrives and becomes something, well, extraordinary. Keep this question in the back of your mind as we go, because the ancient story we're going to unpack gives us a brilliant metaphorical answer to this. Section 1. One rock, two statues. Let's dive right into this. Our source material begins a long time ago, during the construction of this absolutely grand temple. A master sculptor was commissioned to create artwork for the sacred space, and taking a single, massive rock, he carved two beautiful statues from it. Now, this shared origin, it's absolutely vital to the lesson. Both of these statues started as the exact same material. They had the exact same potential, the exact same composition, and they were shaped by the exact same creator's hands. There was literally no inherent advantage given to one over the other at the very beginning of their existence. And this brilliantly illustrates how identical beginnings can drastically diverge. You see, once the temple was finally finished, the sculptor placed them in completely different environments. One statue was placed right at the main gate of the temple, literally the very first thing people see when they walk up. The other statue, it was taken deep inside the temple, placed right in the inner sanctum, also known as the garbhagriha, the main central shrine. Their locations totally dictated the entirely different lives they were about to lead. The daily reality for these two statues was just completely opposite. For the statue at the gate, life was harsh. Every single day, all the devotees coming to the temple would smash hard coconuts on its head and pour water over it as a ritual of entry. Just constant physical impact. Meanwhile, the statue in the inner sanctum experienced nothing but serene reverence. It was adorned with beautiful flower garlands, worshipped peacefully, and treated with the absolute utmost gentleness. You can instantly see the stark, honestly almost violent contrast between the physical abuse the gate statue takes and the deep peace the inner statue receives. Section 2. Pain and Ego. Let's see how this builds. Over time, physical reality really shapes our mindset, right? For the statue at the gate, the constant bombardment doesn't just chip away at the stone. It begins to build this deep, deep sense of resentment, arrogance, and ego. The gate statue finally hits a breaking point and complains to the inner statue. It says, "I am so unlucky. Here outside, people beat me daily and hit my head with stones, while you sit comfortably inside wearing garlands of flowers." It is an intense, overwhelming feeling of victimization. The gate statue is looking at the outcome, the flowers versus the smashed coconuts, and feeling completely cheated by the universe. It's totally consumed by its own perceived misfortune. Section 3. Patience and Wisdom. Now, what's really interesting here is the true turning point of this whole explainer. Instead of matching that bitter, ego-driven energy, the inner statue responds with this calm, grounded wisdom, finally revealing exactly why their paths diverge so much. It smiles peacefully and says, "Friend, your pain isn't useless. When the sculptor was carving us, you refused to endure the pain, so you became a normal stone." Wow, this is incredibly profound. The inner statue reveals that during the sculpting process, when the hammer and chisel were striking them to create art, the gate statue just couldn't take it. It rejected the process. And because it refused to endure the painful shaping of the sculptor's tools, it was relegated to being just a functional, normal stone at the entrance. The dialogue continues with a really powerful reframing of their realities. The inner statue explains, "But I endured the pain, resulting in sitting at God's feet. The blows you take outside make you tough and pave the way for devotees." It points out that enduring the initial, sharp pain of growth is what leads to a higher purpose. And notice, it doesn't dismiss the gate statue's current suffering at all. It reframes the smashed coconuts not as some meaningless punishment, but as a toughening process, a vital, necessary purpose that allows the entire system of the temple to function. Section 4. Life's True Lesson. Let's break the fourth wall here. Let's step out of the fable for just a second. What does this ancient conversation actually teach us about our own lives? Upon hearing the inner statue's words, the gate statue finally realizes its mistake. Its ego shatters, and it understands this core truth. Every test is meant to make us stronger. The pain of the chisel wasn't trying to destroy the stone at all. It was trying to reveal the masterpiece inside. By avoiding the pain of growth, the gate statue merely delayed and, frankly, changed the type of pain it would end up experiencing later on. So, the crucial point is that the moral of this story really comes down to a few actionable takeaways for us today. First, hardships and challenges, they do not come to weaken you. Just like the sculptor's chisel, they're actually there to remove the rough edges of your character. Second, patience and the right mindset through pain yield profound results. The inner statue didn't just suffer for no reason. It endured with purpose, which is what led to a place of lasting peace. And finally, accept the sculpting process. To become a stronger, better human, you have to allow life to shape you, even and maybe especially when it's uncomfortable or painful. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We are all cut from the exact same rock of human potential, but life is the sculptor, and hardships are the chisel. The question isn't whether you're going to face the chisel, you absolutely will. The real question is, when life is sculpting you, will you endure the pain and become a masterpiece, or will you break and settle for being a normal stone? Reflect on that the next time you're facing a hardship. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.